I restructured a multi-seven-figure business and that went from unprofitable to turning around to over quadrupling it and becoming profitable in 90 days. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly the way that I restructured it and put a plan in place so that they had an org chart that would allow them to scale past 8 figures. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly who your next hire is and the prompt that I used to design these org charts so that you know who to hire, how to hire, and when to hire them. So let's begin. You would not take a long trip in the car without putting a destination in the GPS. So why would your business be any different? Now, the way that I look at it is a business will go to where you are pointing your amp. Same thing with a car, right? Same thing with a GPS. So you want to know what your destination is. I like to think about it in 3-year sprints. So I'll plan around 3 years. You could do 5, you could do 10, but 3 is a comfortable number for me. A lot of times founders are just drowning in their own business because they're wearing all the hats. And when most founders go out, and what I want you to do is do the same thing. When you have your org chart, you're going to look at it and it's going to look something like a starfish. You're going to be at the center of it. It's going to be a little bit chaos because everyone's probably reporting to you. So sit down, take a piece of paper and go write out what your org chart is. Who reports to who and what does that look like? And that's okay. This is a place, this is where you're at right now and you can change it to scale and get bigger. So what does that actually look like? This is the business operation units that I like to think of it in terms of like a framework for how I go and plan a business and how to scale that business. So there are these 4 core business units here. There's sales, marketing, operations, tech, finance, and HR. So there's 6 in total, but HR is a function of finance because it is human capital management, which is still a form of capital. So HR goes under finance. There's technically only 5. And in that, when you hire people, most people go and they'll try to find someone who is a CFO. So they'll go and hire someone or CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. And that's hiring from the top down. That's a mistake because you're going to end up overpaying and you are going to have a hard time also recruiting someone who's just a pure Chief Marketing Officer, especially if you're bootstrapping. Now, if you are funded by companies such as raise capital like a VC or a tech company, you may have the opportunity to go hire someone who is elite level talent at the top. But at first, when you're starting off, you may not, and you probably will not have that. So how do you go about that? You hire from the bottom up. That means you're going to hire someone who's okay with a small or tech position, technical in terms of what they're doing, not necessarily a technician per se, or someone who's at the team leader level. And the way that they are able to move up in the organization is obviously doing well in their role. The next thing is you want to have 1 to 3 KPIs per each one of these roles. And you want to have 1 meeting up and 1 meeting down every single week. And you don't want to silo people because when you silo people, people like to fight. And that's just what happens. So maybe sales blames marketing for the leads being bad and marketing blames sales for not being able to close deals. That's just sometimes how it goes. So the way that you do this is you say, we're building something big and we're going to be a growth company. We're going to scale fast. I've spent years just studying one thing and that's how to scale. Just scale. That is a skill in itself. And the only thing that I know really well is how to scale. And so you have this one person who comes in and this other person is going to bring people under them. And so they're going to say, hey, if you do really good, you are going to hire a team under you and you're going to help lead that team if you want to be with us long-term and help us scale. And so hire one hires another person and then that person is able to advance and the person under them, or, if you're hiring multiple people, you can hire 3 people. You can continue to build that team out. And this incentivizes everyone because you are incentivizing the team to grow. And that is how they get into a bigger, prestigious, and oftentimes higher paying position. That's just generally how it works. And so everyone's incentive is aligned to scale your organization. And so that's the way that I think about it. That's how I think about hiring these people. And what I mean by 1 meeting up and 1 meeting down, meaning you should be having 1 meeting with your marketing director, with your ops guy, with your tech team. So that 1 up, and then these people should also be meeting with the people who are under them at least once per week. And so that would be higher, this person talking to both of their team members separately on their own, one-on-one. So you can have group chats as well, but one-on-one is nice because it allows time for potential to arise and overcome those challenges. Ideally, the challenge of the role of people who are at the top is to remove blocks for the people at the bottom, remove them getting work done, or coach and mentor those people under them to be able to be the most productive selves that they can be in the organization. And also a really good CF chief officer. you may not be able to afford a really good CFO because a CFO can cost upwards of $300,000 every single year plus bonuses. So the way that you can get around that is you can hire fractional people, so fractional CFO, but you want to have someone who has experience as a CFO in a company before for multiple years, and ideally the same type of company, as well as the same stage of company. So if you are a $1 to $10 million business, then you want to find someone who's worked in the $1 to $10 million range in that role, or one role under. So another way that you can go about this is you can poach top talent from competitors by finding someone who has been working in a role that is lower for a long period of time. So let's say that they've been working as a or be a manager for a few years at another company. You can say, hey, would you like to come over to our company and we can give you a promotion? You can go for the job that you maybe have been looked for, you don't have yet. We can offer you a higher position. And so that's one talent from other people. You can also do agencies in temporary as long as you're really good at managing agencies. So that's the caveat there, is most people don't know how to effectively manage agencies. And that comes with finding really good agency partners who are okay with being held accountable and having very clear expectations. I'll make a video on how to manage agencies, how to talk with them, how to communicate and manage their expectations so that you are very clear. We want reporting done every single week at a minimum. These are the reports, these are the KPIs that I expect, and here's what we're looking for out of a successful agency relationship. You also want at the top to have 10 KPIs to be able to measure your business. So you want to be able to look at a dashboard and say, these are all the 10 metrics for my business so that I know if it's growing or dying, or what's happening in the business. How can I measure the health? Those are the 10 KPIs that you want. And you can just ask AI, hey, what are the 10 KPIs? I have this type of business at this stage. What are the 10 KPIs that I should be focused on right now? And it'll probably tell you what KPIs you should be focused on. So now that you know what an org chart could look like, I'm going to link a prompt below that will allow you to just copy and paste it. And you can put in your own numbers here of what your current revenue is, what your target revenue is, and what your industry is. And that's going to be linked below. It'll allow you to put that into an AI and spit out something called mermaid code. So I'll pull up mermaid code now. This is an example of mermaid code. This is just something that I pulled from AI, and it built out this org chart for a $10 million business. So if I want to build a $10 million business, I'm going to insert, hey, I would like to become a $10 million business in 3 years in this industry. And it's going to spit out, here's what that org chart looks like for the size and stage that you're in right now. So that's how you can get your own org chart and build it in what's called a mermaid chart. Mermaid chart is just a style of chart, and AI, it should know what a mermaid chart is. It's a visual representation of something that can be in text, so it's easier for me to understand. So what you should do next in order to plan your next hire, now that you have that, you've taken the flow and you've filled in your information and submitted that, you will now copy and paste that code into mermaid chart. And you'll be staring at your future org chart. So you know, who should I be looking for in order to hire to scale to the size that I would like to do. That's what we did. And this is how, but how do I, that's great. Now I know what my business is looking to look like in 3 years, but how do I know what I should hire or who I should hire right now? And you should hire based off of pain, the pain that you have right now. And the way that you discover that is go through your calendar and have an honest time audit with yourself. So I like to put this in 15-minute blocks. You can just put in the dollar amount that you're doing, and then you can organize and say, wow, I'm spending a lot of time on planning out these tasks, and I would like to spend less time. So I'm going to hire someone. I would say if it's a low value task, I'm going to hire someone who can take over that role and do that with you. So maybe I hire another tech to be able to take on more projects, and now I'm only working on the high leverage tasks. So that's how you can go plan that out. There's links for all of this in the description. And if you like this video, you'll also like this video as well.